If an ASUS gaming laptop is on the radar this year, this countdown reveals the 7 models that actually deliver in real games, creators' apps, and all-day use, without the fluff. Stick around to see which one takes the crown for performance, thermals, and display quality. In this video, 7 ASUS gaming laptops are ranked from great to best, blending raw performance, thermal behavior, display quality, battery life, and build to help match the right machine to specific needs and budget. Expect real-world takeaways on CPU-GPU combos, Nebula and OLED panels, MUX advanced Optimus behavior, and where each machine compromises, especially in the mid-tier where choices get tricky. 7. ROG Zephyrus G14. The 2024 Zephyrus G14 shrinks serious power into a 14-inch chassis with up to AMD Ryzen 9 8945HS and NVIDIA GeForce RTX 4070, making it a rare mix of creator muscle, esports responsiveness, and travel-friendly dimensions. The option for a 3K OLED or high-refresh ROG Nebula panel means punchy contrast and color, and the magnesium alloy build keeps weight around the sweet spot for daily carry without feeling flimsy under pressure. In actual use, the vapor chamber and liquid metal help the G14 sustain respectable clocks in longer sessions, and advanced Optimus MUX behavior keeps frames flowing directly from the DGPU when chasing max performance in competitive titles. For creators, the OLED's 100% DCI-P3 coverage and high brightness translate to confident color work and crisp timelines in video apps, and the Ryzen 9 eats through multitasking with minimal hitches. Now, a bit of critical perspective. In the thinnest G14 configs, extended AAA sessions can push skin temps near the top deck and trigger audible fan ramps, which is expected for this performance level in a 14-inch frame. But it's still worth noting before committing to all-night gaming. The smaller footprint also constrains port layout and overall acoustic headroom versus 16 and 18-inch siblings, so anyone aiming for the quietest heavy-load experience might prefer a bigger chassis down the list. Battery life is solid for a gaming laptop, but on OLED variants with DGPU active workflows, expect mixed results depending on display brightness and refresh settings. 6. ASUS ROG Strix G16. The Strix G16 is built to grind, stiffer chassis, more thermal headroom, and roomier internals for higher sustained performance and easier upgrades compared to the Zephyrus line. With high refresh QHD or FHD panels and features like Advanced Optimus, it's tuned for competitive play, where latency, response, and sustained gigahertz matter more than ultra-slim minimalism. Day-to-day, the bigger fans and full-width venting keep clocks steadier for longer, and DDR5 memory plus PCIe Gen 4 storage and RAID options make big projects and game loads snap into place. The 2025 generation leans into next-gen CPUs, GPUs, and adds niceties like USB 4 in some configs, bringing it closer to creator-ready flexibility without leaving its esports DNA. If the goal is a reliable workhorse for practice, scrims, and streaming on a budget lean, the Strix G16 lands right in the pocket. Critically, some lower or mid SKUs can feel a step behind on premium touches, panel ACR layers, speaker richness, and per-key keyboard finesse versus the Zephyrus and Scar families, which are pricier but feel more no compromise. Depending on configuration, max TGP and display options vary, and the FHD path, while latency-friendly, won't dazzle creators like the Nebula HDR or OLED panels further up this list. The chassis is purposefully larger, which is great for thermals but less friendly for backpack space. It's not the slick, cafe-friendly rig that the Zephyrus is. Still, for pure value per frame on a 16-inch canvas with solid thermals, this is a smart buy. Just know it's more grinder than glamour. 5. ASUS TUF Gaming A14. The TUF A14 brings the 14-inch form factor to the more affordable TUF lineup, pairing Ryzen AI 9HX 370 or Ryzen 7 8845HS class chips with RTX 4050-4060 GPUs to create a small, rugged gaming companion. With a 2.5K 165Hz display and G-Sync in many SKUs, it gives esports players credible smoothness and adaptive sync while staying under the size and weight ceiling that creators and students prefer. The TUF ethos, mil-SD durability, and practical thermal design means it handles travel, lecture hall to LAN, and light knocks with confidence, and the internal layout is friendly to storage upgrades down the line. For mid-range gaming, the RTX 4060 variant hits a sweet spot. High settings in popular AAA at QHD-ish resolutions with DLSS help, and buttery esports performance at the native 165Hz target when tuning settings sensibly. The CPU options are efficient under mixed loads, and with advanced Optimus on many configs, battery draw is kept in check for non-gaming tasks. Compared to Zephyrus, the display tech is IPS rather than OLED or Nebula HDR, so HDR pop and per-pixel contrast are a step behind. But for the price tier, the color volume and motion performance are solid. Acoustics are competent, yet not as hushed under full load as the higher-end ROG machines. That said, the fan curve focuses on maintaining sustained performance rather than chasing silence. For creators, the panel's 100% sRGB coverage is accurate but not wide-gamut DCI-P3, so color-critical grading is better done on an external monitor when possible. 4. ASUS TUF Gaming A16. Moving to 16 inches, the TUF A16 gives that extra thermal headroom and screen real estate the A14 simply can't, while keeping the rugged identity and aggressive value intact. The 2025 models bring up to RTX 5070 GPUs paired with AMD CPUs like the Ryzen 7 260 or higher, and a 2.5K 65Hz panel option that's tuned for both esports and cinematic single-player immersion. In extended gaming, the larger chassis sustains GPU TGP more confidently, which is noticeable in long raids or open-world sessions where thin and lights begin to taper. The keyboard deck stays cooler, fans spin at a lower perceived pitch, and the battery capacity around 90 watt-hours gives reasonable endurance for productivity between matches. For upgraders, dual M.2 slots and accessible internals make long-term ownership attractive, especially with growing game libraries. While it doesn't carry the mini LED HDR fireworks of SCAR or the OLED sheen of Zephyrus, the A16's IPS panel is consistent, fast, and adaptive sync smooth, which is exactly what most players want in the heat of competition. Audio is serviceable and spatially clear, though it won't match the resonance of the more premium lines with bigger chambers and tuned arrays. The design language is subdued tough rather than flashy ROG RGB, great for mixed environments, less so if the goal is a showpiece. The real win is performance per dollar with practical thermals and a versatile panel. If 16 inches is the target and budget matters, this is a standout. 3. ASUS TUF Gaming F16. The Intel-based F16 mirrors the A16's mission, but swaps in Core Ultra i7 i5 stacks and RTX 5070 GPUs depending on SKU, with the same 2.5K 165Hz or FHD plus high refresh options and advanced Optimus. The latest Core Ultra 9 275HX offers plenty of headroom, with E-Core P-Core flexibility and AI acceleration in select creator apps, which helps when alternating between gaming, editing, and streaming. Thermally, the F16's second-gen ArcFlow fans, full-width vents, and broad heatsink design keep sustained performance consistent, which is very noticeable in long benchmarks and marathon gaming. The keyboard is firm, travel is consistent, and the 16:10 display ratio shines in both competitive HUD layouts and creator timelines, making the F16 feel balanced day to day. This is a daily driver 16-inch that punches well above its price when configured with a mid-high GPU and the 2.5K panel. As with the A16, the panel isn't mini LED HDR or OLED, so HDR cinematics won't have the same per-zone depth, but motion handling and color reproduction are reliable for gaming first. Some lower SKUs opt for FHD Plus to prioritize refresh and price, which is great for esports, but less ideal for creators who value higher pixel density for detail work. The bigger chassis means better cooling, but also more bulk, so it's not as travel-friendly as Zephyrus if constant mobility is required. Overall, if Intel platform features or specific software optimizations are preferred, the F16 is a fantastic mainstream 16-inch pick that stays cool and consistent. 2. ASUS ROG Strix G18. The G18 is the flex, a desktop alternative monster with an 18-inch 2.5K 240Hz Nebula HDR mini LED panel and high-end GPUs, topping out with RTX 4090 on 2024 units, and moving into 50 series glory on 2025 variants. The display is a showstopper. Thousands of dimming zones, 100% DCI-P3, and HDR brightness that makes single-player epics look as cinematic as they feel, with 3-millisecond response to keep esports crisp. With a max TGP of 175 watts and advanced Optimus via hardware mux, frames route cleanly to the panel, and the cooling system is built to sustain those clocks hour after hour without tanking acoustics or temps. Memory configurations scale to 64GB plus and storage to multi-TB, making it a dream for creators, streamers, and anyone who uses a laptop as the main battle station. In practice, it swallows heavy workloads, compiles and multicam TLs with ease while still framing out competitive shooters at heady refresh targets. Reality check. It's big, it's heavy, and it demands desk space, but that's the trade for unbeatable thermal sealing and visual punch. On battery, the HDR and high TGP components mean frequent charging under heavy use, which is expected for this category. Still, if the goal is the best possible in-laptop gaming and content creation experience without external monitors, this is the one that puts towers to shame. The 2025 bump adds next-gen CPU-GPU options and ACR tech improvements, pushing reflections down and contrast up, further sealing its top-tier status. Number 1. ASUS ROG Zephyrus G16. At the top is the Zephyrus G16 because it threads the needle between performance, acoustics, display quality, and portability better than anything else in ASUS's stable right now. Configurable up to Intel Core Ultra 9 285H and RTX 50 series GPUs, it brings near desktop power into a refined 16-inch chassis with the option for a 2.5K 240Hz OLED that looks stunning for both games and creative work. Where it really wins is balance. Excellent thermals for its thickness, quiet profiles that don't torpedo frame rates, and advanced Optimus to ensure the DGPU drives the panel when it matters. The keyboard and trackpad feel premium and precise, the speakers are tuned with real body, and the overall design has moved decisively into pro territory, sleek enough for a meeting, lethal enough for ranked. Day to day, it's the machine that most people will actually love living with. Light enough to carry, powerful enough to never feel compromised, and gorgeous enough to make other rigs feel old. Unlike the showpiece Scar, the G16 doesn't require a dedicated desk, and unlike the Strix G16, it doesn't give up the premium display and acoustic polish that creators appreciate between matches. It's also more thermally relaxed than the 14-inch G14 at sustained loads, thanks to the larger volume and cooling path, while still maintaining a far slimmer silhouette than most performance laptops. For HDR gaming and movies, the OLED option steals the show with inky blacks and instantaneous pixel response, which translates directly into clarity in chaotic scenes. Final thoughts. For ultra-portable punch, the Zephyrus G14 is the best 14-inch option, with tempered expectations on thermals during marathon sessions. For value grinders, the Strix G16, TUF A14, and TUF A16 F16 are the practical picks that trade a bit of luxury for frames and durability. For no compromise, the Scar 18's Nebula HDR panel and 175-watt TGP ecosystem is a spectacle, but the Zephyrus G16 wins overall for balancing premium display tech with mobility and acoustics. That's the definitive ranking. Drop which model fits best and what games or creator apps it'll be tackling next.